last conference, I have a bodyguard, and he would bring me at 11 o'clock, put me to sleep, and that's it, like pick me up in the morning.
Why'd you have a bodyguard? Was that for attention?
How many manufacturers? We have 8. This is public invitation to CEOs and top management of all shingle manufacturers and all big suppliers.
Well, if you can listen to the last episode, man, you got to know Dmitry a little deeper level. Hopefully you got some value out of that. We're back here for part 2 because we didn't get through everything that we wanted to chat about because there's a lot of people in the roofing industry that have a lot of questions for Dmitry. I interviewed probably, 20 or 30 people that I knew in the industry to kind of get some feedback on what they want to know through this interview. So last time we were together, we covered Lee Haight. We got the big fight coming up January 20th. And tickets are selling for very affordable, man. This is not like a Mike Tyson fight, thank God. But I do want to get a prediction. Is it like, how many rounds? Is it set for so many rounds?
3 rounds, 2 minutes each, headgear, 10-ounce gloves, and barefooted.
Can you kick?
I cannot kick.
No kicking. Boxing. Only 3 rounds, man, 2 minutes. So we're used to like 15 rounds, 12 rounds. Like, do you think is there a chance that anybody will get knocked down? I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
3 rounds.
Because you guys aren't because that's a lot for an amateur. Is there going to be scoring? Like, in case nobody does get knocked out, like, is there going to be a winner?
Yeah, it's going to be a winner.
Okay.
You're interviewing him.
There's going to be a winner. All right. Interesting. And what is the odds that you win for real? Like, do you think you'll win? I
know I'll win.
You know you'll win. Yeah. How do you know you're going to win?
Because I know. Because I train.
But Lee trains. I mean, like, I talked.
We'll see.
I talked to somebody in his camp, and they said he trains like crazy. So, but I also saw a video that you showed me that we probably can't show to the public that you're training like crazy. So, it's definitely going to be interesting. But everyone's talking right now. Lee Haight's actually the secondary story, actually, believe it or not, because he came up with something spicier when you posted the YouTube video about greedy suppliers, and. When I first saw the thumbnail, I was like, man, there goes Dmitry again, clickbait, get you to go in there. But then when I watched the interview, I was like, man, is this really the message that he wants to send to the Nate Schweppes of the world? Is this the message that he wants to send to all the other bigger guys in the industry, right? Because there's a lot of people that have built really good relationships, right, with their suppliers. And like for me personally, like Beacon Roofing was the first person to believe in me. Like when I started my company, they gave me a credit account, they opened me up. Like without them, I don't think I would be here right now. Their outside sales reps helped me. People at the branch helped me. The customer service was amazing. Buying materials from a roofing supplier to me is so much more than just the price. And it's so much more than the product. And so I want you to talk a little bit about, first of all, why you made that video. How do you think it helps the industry? Do you believe in capitalism? Like, do people have the right to make a profit? Like, talk to me about all that.
100%. Everybody, like, I love capitalism. But you also have to be sensitive. The market cannot bear, like... If you believe in capitalism, you believe that you can do anything you want as long as people can buy it. You cannot run gimmicks. You cannot lie to people. You cannot run scam, fraud, all of those rules, right? And market has limits. Like you can't just keep increasing prices the way you want. You cannot. There's many rules to capitalism. You have to be transparent. You cannot just say that you're going to do something. Like there's rules to capitalism. And as long as it's a fair play, like that's why we have monopoly laws. That's why, nobody can become too big and too powerful. That's what Google gets under.
Well, there's 3 big suppliers. There's a lot of medium-sized suppliers. There is, Beacon's a public company. I mean, you can literally look at their financials.
100%.
You can, and profit's not a dirty word.
It's not.
But my thing is why? But you make it almost seem like it's bad to buy off of a supplier like one of the big 3.
So past 2 years have changed. So here's what I did. Here's the interview. So Kyle Buxell. So by the way, I've met him, first time talked to him 3 weeks prior to the interview. So like the guy reached out to me, say,
I could tell that, by the way.
Yeah, I want to hire you to tell my story. So I flew in, told his story. So for me, actually, like we've been talking a lot about my character and stuff. everything inside of me, even like I have underlayment right now too. Even my team is like, Dmitry, he sells underlayment. So you're talking about not like I promote him because he paid me, but like I could make way more money.
So he paid you for that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
just like a contractor would pay you if you to come out to their
exactly.
to their
He
place.
hires me to come and tell his story, and I run it, and I did not filter it. I'm like, story is the story. Here's the thing. So when you say that, like, I hear what you say about beacons and stuff and being loyal to them. It's all good. But here's this guy does $20 million a year. He's in Florida. Hey, just wanted to let you know, this is yesterday. Know your videos and materials are 100% right. Homeowners can't pay anymore. They just simply can't afford it. Manufacturers have pushed roofers. This guy's been in business for 20 years. Manufacturers have pushed roofers to their limits. Distribution has blanked manufacturers and increased prices as well. Both are making record profits. And this guy is capitalist. He's about to sell his roofing companies for multiple, right? So my cost of goods sold has doubled since last year. You are a voice for many.
Cost of goods have not doubled.
Doubled? Like for this.
Cost of goods is not doubled.
Read the comments.
I don't care. Cost of goods have not doubled.
Dude,
doubled?
Doubled.
Doubled is not true. That is not true.
I've seen the invoices. The people,
Dmitry, I know my numbers.
No, for you maybe they're not double, but does it like so?
What do you mean? Cost of goods and cost of good, like shingles and underlayments and accessories. Like I mean, they're pretty much standard across the board. But
in the past,
double those a big word.
In the past 2 years, for many, they have doubled.
Okay, now you're saying 2 years. All right, so like now.
No, well, this guy's the last year.
But I still don't think it's doubled over 2 years, but whatever.
Well, maybe yours did not double.
We'll agree, disagree. No, it's not even because of that. It's like shingles went from $90 to $120. That's not double. Even if they go from 80 to 120, that's not double. Double over the last 15 years. Yeah, I remember when I first started. Shingles were around. I entered the roofing market in Pittsburgh 13 years ago, and I worked for my uncle. I think I remember being able to buy shingles for $60 to $70 a square. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that? 2010.
Probably.
Okay. Well, you started after that, even so. Yeah. All right. Well, now they're 120, but let's just say they're 120 bucks a square. Like at least in the Pittsburgh market.
In 2015, I was paying like $75.
They're just not double in 2 years. That's all. It's just, you can't make claims like that because that's just not true.
I'm not making claims. I'm talking about invoices that people send me.
I know, but it's just not. It's not double.
Not the shingles, but accessories and everything else.
How much? I don't even know how. See, I guess I'm not of the day to day. I don't even know much.
Listen, would you agree that in the past 2 years we have more price increases?
Sure, absolutely,
than ever.
Absolutely. I do agree with that. Lots of price increases.
When you have 7 price increases per year, and each of them is like 5-7%.
But
what does it account for?
But let me ask you this: Why is it why is it distribution's fault? Why isn't manufacturer's fault?
So my point.
You're not allowed to attack them anymore, though, right?
So here's the thing. As a media channel, I can't just say what manufacturers want to say or suppliers. You have to be objective. And you've seen like that post has over 200 comments. Go study those comments. Go see what roofers are saying. Those voices also need to be heard. And I'm not talking about like. I mean, Nate Schweppe actually sent it to me too. His prices increased like 60%, I think, in South Dakota. And he's not buying from big box stores, from smaller ones.
Sure.
So the point is, you have to be objective and you have to listen to everyone. And I do talk to a lot of big players as well. That's why they buy direct in bulk.
But here's the thing with that. Okay. And I agree. So we're in a free market. We're in a free market.
Sure.
If the prices are too high, the consumers will stop buying. Contractors will stop buying. It'll be a train wreck. But at the end of the day, but okay, and that's fine. But let the market bear it. So at the end of the day, all I'm saying is I think when you put out content for the Nate Schweppe, you're getting so much airplay. You owe me some money. No, I'm just kidding. I love him, but you're giving him. I think you're not giving him advice. You're not telling him what to do. You're just making him aware. But I think these guys gravitate to where like now they're going to start, they're going to buy underlayment from you. They're going to buy pipe boots from over here. They're going to get their shingles delivered. And then they're going to have to run around like chickens when their head cut off like roofers already aren't the smartest people, and they're also not the most organized people. And now you're going to try to have them source materials from different places to show up to a job site, and that's actually going to cost them more money, in my opinion. Because I've done this to a couple different ways.
That's your opinion.
But I've tried this a couple different ways. I'm not stupid either. I mean, I used to back during COVID. I remember Home Depot because I don't know, maybe they fell asleep. I remember you could buy a pallet of underlayment like at these loss leader prices, which was wild. So again, I bit the bait. Guess what? Put a bunch in my warehouse. You know what happened? Guys would complain. They'd have to drive into the office. They'd have to put it on their trucks. They'd have to go this. We would be short. Like when the big suppliers, the value for the suppliers is the delivery and the service, in my opinion. To put it all on one truck, to get it all there.
Sure.
And maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't know. But at the end of the day, to make it feel like you were tearing them down to put that to put the smaller supplier up or the independent guys, I think was a little unfair. I think it was a little dangerous. And I think you have to, especially when you have a roofing school and you're trying to teach guys what to do, I think it's
I've been teaching it for years.
But the lines are getting blurred on, it just seems like the lines are getting blurred because I don't know if that's good advice to tell them to start sourcing material independently, especially for the small guys. They're not doing enough roofs to really make it.
I mean, if you do $3-5 million, like listen, if you do $2.5 million a year, if you say 5%, that's $125,000 a year.
But are they really saving 5%, or are 100%. They spending more money on gas? Did they forget? Did they forget something at a job site? Did like something didn't show up? Like I'm just saying, did a job not go because they couldn't get it done because they forgot to get the underlayment from the shop? Now they backed up another day, so throughput didn't get better. There's a lot of factors.
I'm telling you what can be done, and the price actually can be way more than 5% if you consider everything.
Absolutely.
So the thing is, there's a common sense to everything. You have to make a business decision. I'm here to show you other way. Like you can make a decision to overpay on everything, 5-10%, and have it all delivered to you and deal with the, like returns and stuff. Or you can stock. Over the years, I've traveled to hundreds of companies, right? And I've seen companies and I've seen the numbers with people who stock and manage, who sits on millions of dollars.
Bigger companies. That have the ability.
It doesn't have to be bigger.
Well, yeah, but they have to have a warehouse manager. They have to have inventory control. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of things that go into that.
Of course, they
have to have trucks that can like deliver the material to the jobs, and they have to have boom trucks if they're like, there's a lot of.
But still, it can be done.
Sure, it can be done. But you're talking when you cast such a wide net, right? So you cast a wide net, and you ran a piece that to me. If the $2 million roofer is watching it and the $200 million roofer is watching it, it's like it's not the same. But but you got both people watching, right? And so I think that this whole business is. I think the roofing industry is all based on relationships, and I think that when people don't talk about that and don't discount and discount that it's all just about price. I think that's dangerous. I just think that's dangerous.
It's not. Never ever I said that it's not about relationships, and I
know you didn't. I'm putting that on the. I'm putting that on the record.
I don't disagree with it, but here's what I also see. I also see like look at the failure rate and look at the profit margins of a roofer, and look what have been happening. So as a media company, I'm a voice of roofing community, and I have to be a voice of manufacturers. I have to be a voice of roofers, of your niche sweepers, and everybody else. And I'm sensitive and I pay attention. If you watch my piece, like I watch comments on my YouTube channel. I have a lot of homeowners, and homeowners have been speaking up. So here's the problem. What's the last time you have seen price drop in the industry? It doesn't happen. Once it goes up, it stays up, right?
Yeah, but, that is true.
But one thing I think what needs to happen is, and here's my pushback to you. Manufacturers are also a little bit delusional and they don't listen to roofers. And I help them to listen to that voice because you cannot ignore that there's hundreds of people who have been saying enough is enough with the price increases. They have been saying it to their reps, to their people. You talk about a relationship. If you come to me and say, Dmitry, I can't increase the price anymore. Like yesterday I talked to a roofer. He said he has this price and he has to hire an accountant to audit his invoices because even after he get the book price and everything, he still goes manually because oftentimes they send it at a higher price and they have to adjust. It's a full-time job.
Absolutely. So it's called business.
No, I get it, but those suppliers that are so good at building relationship oftentimes charge more, and the roofers who don't have accountant on the payroll pay even more, and it's a full-time job manage them. So just like there's a pros and cons to buying in bulk. There's a pros and cons dealing with the ABC supplies, because the disputes that roofers have, even if you, okay, here's your price, and then you have to go through every invoice because they overcharge you because someone made a clear mistake. It still happens.
Sure.
It's not as convenient as people think. And SRS, Beacon, and ABC have plenty of complaints for roofers for not being the best at what they do as well. So you still have to deal with a
sure,
mistake.
yeah. Again, this
Everything
is another,
has
but this is
problem.
another story
But they
where
have to pay attention to what roofers say and homeowners, because enough is enough. Listen, if you like, I like studying auto industry, because auto industry documents.
Are you
everything.
saying auto? Car, like cars?
Cars.
Oh, yeah, that's
right?
where
So
the Russian got me a little bit there.
Thank you for that. Auto industry. So you have cars like, for example, Jeep. Right now, I just watched a piece on Jeep, how Jeep sales tanked because people vote. If you made a bad model, first 2 years might go well.
Those Wagoneers are ugly.
Wagoneers are awesome, but
I only know that because he picked me up in his Wagoneer.
The truck is ugly one. The Gladiator. So Gladiator is like $90,000, and people say, who would pay $90,000 for that when you can get like full truck, like nice truck for that price instead of that? And now they actually drop in the price, like they cannot sell them like those Jeeps away. So car manufacturers have learned it a long time ago. People speak with their volumes when they don't buy. Like that's it. You sit on the car lots full of cars, and now you have to make moves. And that's what's happening in the roofing industry. Manufacturers producing products, keep increasing them. Roofers,
people keep buying them
for a little bit.
Well, then let it stop. But like,
but we also have.
You're allowed to do the piece. Here's all I want you to do. We don't talk about much more. Here's what you can do. Here's what I want you to do, because I think
you'll see the video tomorrow.
Well, that's yeah.
About that, just that.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I think you should do is do a piece on all the pros of dealing with the big three.
Here's what I'm willing to do. Here's what I'm willing to do.
Because I want to see all the good stuff.
Look, how many manufacturers we have? 8. This is public invitation to CEOs and top management of all shingle manufacturers and all big suppliers. If you want to do interview with me, studio is open. Anytime, fly in. Let's talk about it. If you can defend your pricing and your service, and you can justify it, let's talk about it. Ask this question: why there's so many gimmicks from manufacturers and suppliers, and why there's no one who represents the companies who can defend their policies? Why they're all offended by roofers asking the question?
I don't think anybody's offended.
Oh, they are. I see ABC reps.
I mean, I call my rep all the time, and we have. You know what? Because you can have candid conversations and be kind about it, and not get into the shouting about it. There's a lot of roofing owners, though, that I remember. I've heard stories where they're price shopping every job and trying to do all that because they're all trying to.
But that's capitalism. That's
sure,
business.
and that's fine. They're allowed to do that. Well, guess what? It's all business, and at the end of the day, you can always vote for your dollars. All I'm asking you to do is do a piece to show the other side of it. That's all. Because I think.
But how? The only piece I can make is let's talk about it. If they are not willing,
it's service. It's service. You can't put a price tag on service.
Let's talk about.
I don't think you can put a price tag on service.
Why they can't do the interview?
What do you think about Amazon? So I went to Costco the other day, and guess what? It was way cheaper than buying off Amazon. You know why I like Amazon? That truck driver shows up at the house, drops it off in the front door.
I get it.
I mean, come on, man. They make it easy. Hit that easy button.
So look, Vaxel hired me to do piece on him.
Sure, I get it.
ABC can do the same thing. Sure, but they wouldn't, right?
But you're not going to make them pay. You're going to let them come up and do like a.
I don't care. Like,
right?
They can interview me. We can talk to them.
That helps. That helps knowing that Van Boxel paid you. So that helps.
He hired me.
Yeah, and I respect that. So you had to make a profit because you're a content creation company.
And I couldn't even make for me it was not prearranged. There was not questions. I came in.
You could have done it without the tagline. But I guess you probably wouldn't have got as many views.
Well, it's you have to.
Do you do that when you do these videos for companies? You basically give them the content so they can show their customers, right?
So we did, yeah.
Because like, I mean, for like roofers, it doesn't really do a roofer too much good if you broadcast it on your YouTube channel, because in the local
do
market.
Both. So when I come to
But for
company,
Van Boxel, that's different though, because you really,
I did one piece for them. So there's a company story 20-minute video for them to put on their website without me in it, just like him and sharing his story.
I got it.
And there's one for my channel.
That makes more sense. All right, let's move on.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about the family, because business is hard, business is tough. What do you want your kids to learn from watching you operate your businesses and create all this polarizing content on YouTube? Like how old are your kids, by the way?
My youngest is 8, oldest is 15.
All right, so they all understand content. So that's good.
They love it.
Because I have a
we
9,
talk about
I have
it
a
all
9.
the time.
All
They know even like Lee Haight Fight. They know sometimes they watch the
they're
videos.
into it. You got them into it.
Yeah.
All right.
They all kids understand YouTube, and they kind of like before that they were like mocking me wherever. Now they're proud. If they tell other kids what your dad does, the first thing they say like he's a YouTuber. He does.
Oh, you got subs, baby. My son makes fun of me because I only have a couple hundred subs. Oh, yeah. And I was talking to Joseph Hughes the other day, and he's got like 3,000 or 4,000 subs, which is a big deal. But like you got like 100 and like what? 30
my son says that he's gonna do more subs and his channel is gonna be more popular. I talk business to my kids all the time. It's just yesterday my kid Max, 8-year-old, says I get Wall Street Journal newspaper every Saturday morning. I read it and he's like, Dad, why are you reading news? And I said, well, you know how we like history? Like I always, before I put them to bed, if my wife puts them to bed, she sings them a song. If I put them to bed, I always do history lesson. Some kind of day, like tell us about World War II or Hitler or whatever, anyway, so anything from the history, and they love it. But he asked me about news, and I said, well, news is like history in the making. We want to know what's going on right now in the world, this and this, and it's just so cool. They ask the smartest questions. I spend a lot of quality time with them and go pick up games, everything.
So one of the things in business, I don't know if I heard you say it, but everybody, business owner, says that it's lonely at the top. And I would imagine it might even be even lonelier for you because of the way you make content. You might not have as many friends in the industry. You may not have as many connections. You have a lot of connections, but that term lonely at the top, tell me what that means for you. Because you've said it before. I've heard you say it.
Yeah, it's, I'm a loner. Like, I think a lot of business owners, busy guys, we're introverts. I'm actually introvert. Like, I can be lonely, and I'm always lonely even in the crowd. Like even in my own conference, I want to go to my room and just be by myself at the end of the day. You put up a show, you do the content. I like meeting people, but it gets old fast. I meditate a lot. You're like, especially for creators, you're always thinking about content, next big thing. So you meet 10, 15 people, you talk. I mean, you have to have such a strong personality for me to be around. Like if I'm around mentor, like Rodney Webb and stuff, like I will be gluing, but it's hard to keep giving. So what I have built is this. Imagine coming to new country, barely speak English, not knowing anyone. Give it 15 years and you can fly to any city and make a Facebook post and say, hey guys, I'm in Pittsburgh, let's meet up today, and have 20 people to show up. That's amazing accomplishment for me. I tell my wife all the time, I don't have a lot of friends. My childhood friends and like people I know in Minneapolis, because I have a couple friends.
Do you think you'd have more though if you made more? You were more loving and had bigger and had more kindness.
You will be surprised. Here's what you've been at my conference. You've seen the caliber, right?
Yeah.
Like when I do retreats, you will attract people who will understand you and who will follow you for who you are. My people, they freaking love me. They love controversy.
I respect that. I do agree with that.
They love that I take fights with the big corporations.
Yeah.
They follow me because of that.
And you're good, right? And that's rule number 1 in marketing: know who your ideal audience is and serve them up, right? And I think you do a great job with that. I respect that. It's just a different way than I think I would approach it. But I'm worried about your kids, though. So here's the deal: do you think that you want your kids to be like that, or would you rather your kids be a little bit more middle of the road, build a little bit more bridges, be a little bit kinder with their...
But it's not... See, here's what people think about, What's negative? Why people like for you it's negative?
Because no, that's not. I see positive and negative, but it's like it's so polarizing sometimes that it really does seem like to build your skyscraper, you're tearing other skyscrapers down.
But it's just your opinion.
It's not my opinion.
Not many people think that. So like, I'll give you an example. Like Gary Vee, right? So I would say that cursing in the videos, it's a negative thing. Gary Vee curses a lot. Just because I don't curse, I think that's negative thing. But is it negative thing? Is using F words, right? Yeah. So when Gary Vee goes on the stage and say, F you, and like brand whatever, I would never do that. But does it mean? But his audience does not think about that as a negative. So you've heard me talk about Delmatico, and then I have my conference, and you think I'm cheering him down. My audience does not think that.
I don't actually think. I'm taking the vibe of the roofing community.
Exactly. But people exaggerate. Like, and again, if you talk to vice president of Beacon, he might have had that opinion because he's on the receiving end. He've heard me call out manufacturer, and when you criticize someone, you have a book here. Where is the guy? Where's Dale Carnegie here?
How to Win Friends and Influence People?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, right there on top of the stack of.
Yeah.
Right there.
Read this book. If you criticize someone, they're not gonna like you. So if I ever I offend storm chasers, they don't like me. Number one comment I think that I get, I don't agree with everything Dmitry says, but I respect you and I still follow you. I don't want you to agree with everything. And I don't think I agree with everything. Every person that I follow, I'll give you an example. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Freaking love it. Amazing actor. Good guy, right?
He's got a cool story.
Yeah. But then goes promotes Joe Biden and stuff. And so now and people would be like, F you, can't stand right. Or it could be
Who'd you vote for in the last election?
Can't tell you.
Why not? Man, you told me I could ask you anything.
Trump.
Let me ask you this question. This is way off topic now. Who's your favorite Russian leader of all time?
I actually voted for Putin for the first 8 years.
Oh,
so
wow.
He was cool.
But history-wise, so go all the way back, Stalin, there's was it Lenin? There's Mikhail Gorbachev. There's all kinds of.
Gorbachev was actually cool. I like Gorbachev.
All right. We got off topic a little bit. Back to family. So now we talked about the kids a little bit. Let's talk about the wife. What role does your wife play at home and in the business decisions you make? Like how much you travel, where you invest your money, what new company you may start. What's the relationship like there?
We're night and day. She's complete opposite of me. Couldn't do it without her. I don't travel as much as people think I do. Two nights per week. So here's the thing.
2 nights per week for the average American's that's a lot.
So my kids go to private school. They come home at 4 and they go to bed at 8. So I miss them. I always leave on Wednesday and come back Friday. So Wednesday night and Thursday night, I'm not home. So for 4 hours, I miss my kids. I'm always there Saturday, all day. My wife usually, I push her away, go shopping, go do whatever. And Sunday, my wife does not touch kitchen. I cook entire meals, from start to finish. I cook a lot of meats and stuff. So we have amazing, I think, work-life balance. I spend more time at home than ever. I play soccer with my kids. We do boxing. We actually, on Sunday now, I take my entire family. We go to boxing gym, and we do boxing workout with the entire family. So we do a lot of quality time. Going to churches.
How's she feel about does she help you with business decisions? Does she give you input? Does she follow your content? Does she even know what you're doing out there?
A lot of times she learns about what I do from social media like everyone else. She doesn't know, we talk a lot. We spend a lot of time together. She manages household. I give her a check. I never ever I don't even have login to my personal bank account. I give her money. I don't know what we have in the savings. She just comes back to me sometimes hey, we need a raise. Bills are higher, and I give her $100 per week more. So it goes from.
And she's from Russia?
Yeah.
How old was she when she moved over here?
13.
Oh, so she was younger. So she probably doesn't have quite as the traumatic experiences as you did, right?
She went to school.
Is she tough like your mom, or is she different than your mom? How does she compare to your mom?
She's the nicest person that I know.
So she's a sweetheart.
So sweet.
Okay.
But firm. She's nice, but you don't want to mess with her. She's nice, firm, and fair, and she keeps me straight.
That's awesome. Let's shift gears a little bit because I do want to ask a little bit about Directory because I know that's probably the latest. Well, I guess that's the latest. That's the big company that you're trying to get off the ground. We know you despise Home Advisor, Angie's List. That's probably why you created it. What's your 5-year plan for that company? Like, what's your vision for it?
$1 billion in sales to go through the platform in business for the contractors and stuff like that.
Will you ever sell the company?
I will sell shares. I think I'll maintain, good portion of it, but I'll be diluting my shares. Like even right now, if someone wants to invest the money at reasonable valuation, I'll take investors now for faster growth. We don't need money, but if someone invests, I raised money. I raised $1 million. I have 10 investors, 50K.
What valuation?
10 million. So cool. 1% is $100K, but it's changing.
So that's a way different model than a contracting business, right? There's different multipliers, and it can get pretty lucrative, right?
Yeah. It's a software company.
Someone wanted me to ask you: is this just a money grab for your followers?
How can it's for 3 years? It cost me money. I put 80% of everything I do into Directory. So everything I do in the school, everything I do, consulting, all the deals I pour in. So it's the biggest investment.
What? How much of the company do you own right now? What percentage of the company do you own? How much?
90%.
90%. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. If you total up all the revenue of all the different streams that you make income on, you got Directory, you got YouTube channel, with your brand deals, you got roofing school, you got your material business. Give me you don't have to be exact. Just give me an idea of where, how much money you make percentage wise. I don't need to know the dollars, but percentage wise of where the bulk,
Directory just bypassed roofing school in revenue, within the last couple months. So roofing school were on the bigger end, events, consulting and stuff, roofing school online. Sponsorships, probably 10% of the income. So it would be 40% school, online deals, 10-15% some kind of sponsorships, channel gigs, YouTube. I'll give you example. The travel that I do for hire, maybe only $100K a year, so it's not a lot. I just do it to cover travel expenses and travel more. And Directory is the biggest one.
And how about your conference? Where do you is that part of the roofing school? Is that part of content? Where do you I know because I know that markets you everywhere. So I don't does that how do you is that a separate company now probably? It's always going to be a loss leader.
It's probably a revenue stream for Roofing Insights. It has its own name. I'm actually trying to get out of it because I'm not going to do events after this year for 2 years.
Wait, you're not going to do a conference?
Not for a couple of years. I think.
Really?
Yes.
So this could be your last conference.
Yes, I think. Wow. I'm either gonna sell it to someone who wants to run it and take over. It takes a lot of my time. And next event I'll do after this in 2-3 years, probably gonna be Directory event for Angie's List used to have conference for their members and stuff because I'm going all in on Directory. I'm doing less and less other stuff and I'm focusing.
Oh, there you go. Talking about that focus like we talked about in that last episode.
I had 10-year plan. So you have labor in years when you build it and then you really it start consuming you more and more. So you do less of this. So last conference right now. In couple of years, I might do another conference, but most likely it's going to be Directory for all the trades.
Do you think that you could? So I'm thinking about selling a conference, and I'm thinking all right, well, because you have a unique following group. I'm not going to lie. I've been to your conference. They are Dmitry lovers.
Yeah.
It is a love.
And I can still be.
It is a love fest.
I can still be part, but
because they can just pay you to be appearance fees and stuff like that.
And I don't speak at my event, even last year. Yeah. So I organize.
Yeah, you run around like a chicken with your head cut off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I watched.
Everybody else is doing it. I can still I can put my name behind it, right? So I can promote it like Michael Jordan promotes Nike shoes, but I don't need the headache of running it. So if someone wants, I don't know, let's say manufacturer or ABC Supplier, I don't know, I don't even know who would buy a conference, right? But if someone wants to be in this space and they want to buy the event,
they should. So yeah, I think they should because if they want to
it's already built.
They want to help if they want to help their company, if they want to help contractors sell more shingles, that's just another way to think about let's say Oculinks or Job Nimbus buy something like that. It makes perfect sense, and I can be part of it. I can help them, but for me, it's maybe your boy Adam Sandler buy it.
I've lost money for the past 5 years, right? And I've
Sure, it's a marketing event.
I gave back to, like, I never saved money. Like, I wanted to pour my heart into like good food, good entertainment, good times, right? Like, I'm thankful for the life I have.
Yeah.
And this is my community. But now I'm building directory. I'm focusing on it. It's kind of like, and it's not time consuming for me. It's time consuming in December, but it's a slow month anyway.
Is that why you put up all these contractors on stage this year? Is that kind of like, is this like a farewell thank you, like to your supporters? And
not necessarily. Just
I noticed like a lot of contractors are on stage.
Yeah, that's the vision. That's like, make your phone ring again as a theme. Like, I want to, like, first of all, I think it's I hate when marketers speak on stage, because marketers usually try to sell you, and when business owners
so you just pick contractors that are marketers.
Yeah. Pretty much. And I always done it, even first year.
Yeah. Well, we're the fun guys, right? Yeah, I love marketing. I was always a sales guy that turned into roofing, and then I fell in because I had to learn marketing, and then I found that I really love marketing because, first of all, it's vast, it's wide, it never stops, it's never ending. You can't learn enough. Like sales is like, once you can sell, it's like, yeah, cool, you can make a lot of money, but like it's the same thing over and over and over again. So like for the ADHD person to me, I'm like, marketing's so much fun. But that's cool. I appreciate you sharing that. I didn't think that I didn't know that about this year. That's awesome. Future of roofing. Where do you see the technology heading in the industry?
I think on material end, we're gonna see a big shift to other materials from asphalt, just because it's not really sustainable. It's hard to recycle. We already see more and more metal roofs, so taking markets and especially with the price increases too. If they're gonna keep doing what they're doing, the price difference between metal and asphalt gonna be so close. Like, I mean, think about it.
Yeah, but metal's to do a good metal roof, a good standing seam metal roof, I mean, it's still 3 times more than a shingle roof.
Not only, I'm not even talking about standing seams. I'm talking about like your rubber shingles, your other products. Like,
okay.
We're going to have other products that they're already shifting in. Like,
Sure.
Shield is growing. Like, we see some markets, like in Ohio, I've seen probably 25% of the market, newer one, it's metal now, where it used to be all asphalt.
Well, that's a big Amish community too, pushing that metal.
True,
probably.
but still, it still tells you.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the next big product that we don't know about yet? And don't say Monster Smash.
Big product. I have to think about that. I'll come back to you.
That's all right. I'm looking for some roofing insights. That's all.
There's one. I've seen it in China.
Oh, that's right. The China chart. I should add. We don't have enough time for that. But
So the big one that I've seen in China, I've seen, how solar is always like black panels. I've seen printed solar panels. So you imagine having siding printed like in different colors. They have like 5-6 colors. So it looks like siding, but it's actually a solar panel. So, and it's not black. So you can paint
and do it on walls.
You can do the walls, you can do whatever. So I think that's like, imagine the house built on a solar panels, but looks like siding that doesn't have the black look. Think about like how much glass we have, almost like a glass building.
Yeah.
But it's consumes the energy. I think that's the future.
Wow. There we go. I heard Cody in there like being like mind blown.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on all this private equity and how it's going to affect roofing companies in the industry?
I think it's when it first started like a year ago, it was like I've talked to 5-6 of them like within like 2 months. But I think it's way overrated because the process is so complicated. So many people they try to buy everyone, but like very few actually go through the process. And I think it messed up a lot of roofers' heads because if a roofer gets like 3 equity companies like, oh, we're gonna, including Lee Haight's had too. He was like, oh, I'm gonna sell. Like I have this offer. Well, just because you have offer, it does not mean that you worth it or it's gonna go through. It's due diligence numbers to back it up and stuff. So what I don't like is how aggressive they are. It's almost like those shark loans. They're like, I have $500,000 at this rate, and then by the time they analyze your books and your sales, is like the offer is not what promised. So the same with equity firms. They come in and is like, I can give you like $10 million for your company. And then you start going through the process. And then 5 months later, it's all in details. So like if I say, Benny, I'm going to buy a company for $10 million. Would you sell it to me? You're like, yeah,
Sure, let's
take
go.
it. All right. So $10 million, and then I send you paperwork. $10 million. I'll pay you $1 million per year in the next 10 years if you do this, and this. And
No deal.
And those little details, they matter. I'm still giving you $10 million.
Yeah, sure. How much cash up front, buddy?
Exactly. How much cash? What's involved?
So they're kind of like clickbait thumbnails and content, right? Like they kind of suck you in, then you go through it all, and you're like, wow, that video wasn't as good as the title.
Well, analytics will show it. So if you get people to click and you still watch 80%, that means it was not misleading. It was actually.
Do you think it's because a lot of roofing business owners, and I know you're a big fan of preaching about knowing your numbers and teaching, that's why you teach. Do you think a lot of business owners don't know their numbers, don't have their books together enough to like have these Wall Street companies, have these private equity firms, these smart guys come in, they probably look at these companies and are like, holy cow, I can't even make sense of any of this stuff. And it's like, and it's kind of risky, right? And then at the same time, then they have to figure out this industry, which is not the easiest industry for a person that's never been in this industry to kind of run, right? You still got to deal with the subs. You still got to deal with homeowners. You guys still got to deal with the guys showing up every day. Like there's only a few humans, like guys like us, right, that know how to deal with them, the roofers, the subs, the customers, right? And like, you give me $10 million, man, like I'm looking for the vacation, right? Like, and I know they want you to stay on, they want you to do all this stuff, but it's like, it's like a weird situation. So I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of people who want to get in, so they're going to make a lot of deals happen because these guys have $1 billion in their fund. It's like, what's $10 million? It's like a little freckle. It's like a fart in the wind. And so they're going to go out and acquire a bunch of stuff. And I think 3 to 5 years from now,
someone's going to lose money.
Well, well, it's not there. And I don't even think they're going to care because it's probably a tax write-off for the next thing that they're going to do. So it's almost like I think everybody should lean into these experiences, go through processes, gone are the days of like holding on to everything forever. It's like, because like a lot of our parents worked the same job for 50 years.
The challenge, though, I'll interrupt you. The challenge is the valuation because the roofers think that they're worth way more than they actually do.
I agree.
Because if you chase sales, I mean, think about it. Like you can run $15 million company and at the end of the day break even or lose money, so you don't have profit. So if you don't have profit, like your sales means nothing. And most roofers, unfortunately, especially storm chasers, they chase sales over everything. It's net profit. If you're not net profitable, don't even do it.
All right. So you've been in the public eye, you've been an influencer for a while now. Tell me a few ways that you've made that has made you a better man and a few ways that it's changed you for the worse.
For the worse?
Yeah. Like, you've been in the public eye. You've been, an influencer. Let's just call you an influencer. Sure. I know you probably don't like that word. Do you like that word, influencer? I don't like that word either.
But it's descriptive.
Yeah. You influence people, right? Good or bad, you influence people. How has it made you a better man? And also then how has it changed you for the worse as well?
You have to learn how to deal with attention. Sports people deal with it. Actors deal with it. Not everyone is ready for attention, for massive attention. Early on, I've made a lot of mistakes. We all have demons. We all have temptations. So you have to be close to God, to family. You have to have a core principles, right? Because it's very easy to fall when you get that fame, when you have, like, it's very easy to start thinking big about yourself. It's very easy to be like, when you see the crowd, when you see pictures, people want to take pictures with you, it will mess with your head. And I started years ago, I did not drink for 6-7 years of my life.
A Russian that didn't drink? I know that's a stereotype.
From 23 to 30, I started drinking beer 6 months into a roofing business. And then as I was traveling more and more, as I was going in, so I started drinking more, I started partying more. And your character will be challenged. You're going to get tempted. So you have to have a strong personality, how to deal with temptation. That's why you have a lot of drugs. You have a lot of cocaine and a lot of getaways. Because when you have this attention and you feel popular and, under attention, under pressure, a lot of people, for me, it was hard to stop. I'm all or nothing guy. So I've regretted partying a little bit too much on few events, especially right now, if I go out with my, let's say, fans, I'm going to go there for 8 to 10, I'll have a couple drinks And if I want to get drunk, let's say I'm in a mood, I'm not going to do it with my audience. I don't want to be that example because I've done it and it's not the leader that I want to be. Like, I can be a party animal and I've been a party animal, right? Like, I like to dance. I like to go places. I can control myself. I'm not going to like in the past 7 years, I never like threw up or do, but I've been in a situation that could be avoided. I've, been awake all night multiple times, and it was all fun memories, but this is not sustainable. I don't want to keep doing it. Like last conference, I have a bodyguard, and he would bring me at 11 o'clock, put me to sleep, and that's it, like pick me up in the morning.
Why'd you have a bodyguard? Was that for attention?
I have a lot of threats. I have a lot of situations.
Do you think they're real?
100%. Oh, like I have people wanted to fist fight me. Listen, here's the thing about Bodyguard. The best decision, by the way, I ever made. When you have,
how much is it a day?
I think I paid him like $4,000 for like 2-3 days.
Wow.
So the thing about Bodyguard is like I have to move. And like even like at my conference, like we have a guy, he removed one of the guys, like he got so drunk and he was like in my face and he was arguing. It was dumb. He was not, the guy was like in that scenario, like he was not aggressive. I did not worry about him like fighting me and stuff, but he wanted to prove a point and I'm like, okay, we gotta go. Sometimes like when the roofers get drunk, they came to you, they open, like I have to keep moving and I cannot afford to hit someone. I cannot afford, like I've been in the situation.
You know what those legal fees are like, huh?
No, not because of that, because of reputation, because
sure.
like, right?
Yeah.
So like it was very good decision. Like you go to the bar and you have people coming to you, like, I mean, like even guys like Lee Haight.
Are you saying you're kind of a big deal?
No, I'm not saying I'm a big deal, but I know that I need people to protect me. Even the conference before, I have people acting like bodyguards. Sometimes you have to keep moving. So let's say you have people
like Schweppy. Schweppy will knock somebody out for you. And Gino. Oh yeah.
They will.
No, you got some good dudes. In the last few years, what's been the lowest point in your life?
Lowest point? I drifted away from God. I didn't have a spiritual leader. So I always been religious, always went to church and stuff. And I always have pastor or pastor figure in my life. And the past 5-7 years, I lost it. Like if I go to church, I see the pastor. It's not like I don't respect him, but it's not like I would come to him with the problems and stuff. And as a result, when you don't have a spiritual leader in your life, you will make stupid decisions. Or if you do something stupid, you don't have anyone to talk to. I became so big, like in my family, my parents were not authority to me anymore. And like I respect my parents, but I would not come to my parents for advice because they would not understand. Like my dad was never in my position, like running as many employees or making as much money or whatever. So I got to the point where I don't have anyone I was looking up to. So I became a leader. I became a mentor to others, but I did not have anyone who would mentor me, who I could talk to when I'm down. And as a result, I made mistakes, I made stupid stuff. And about a year ago, I finally found, like me and my wife, we found a pastor and we started we needed some counseling on our relationships and stuff. Because when you drift away from God, it will affect your family, your wife and stuff. So I've made mistakes. I had to repent a lot of sins, a lot of my behavior. And I didn't have anyone to talk to. So I finally found someone. For the first time in the longest time, I was able to get on my knees and actually cry about what I've done. Because I was like, when you drift away from God, it's not like you do something very bad every day, but you're not.
It's a bunch of little stuff, right?
It's a lot of little steps. And then before you know it, like you're not the person you wanted to be. You know that God is not pleased with you. You're not reading Bible the same. Like you still do the activity, but your heart is not in the right place. And how do you fix that? So I finally found a pastor and I turned things around. I stopped a lot of things I was doing. I kicked a few people away from my life, very toxic people. And that was the lowest point.
That's good, man. I'm glad you're getting closer to God. That's definitely a game changer. I'm a big fan of the relationship is way more important than the rituals or the religion, right? And I think that's important. Are there any individuals out there that you feel like that you may have wronged in the past, or they may feel like they've taken something personal that you wish that you could reconnect with?
I was reading Arnold Schwarzenegger book recently, and he has a quote that I guess confrontation and collaboration. Like confrontation is always like collaboration brings you further, right? Like sometimes, like it's hard for me because I have my standard, and everything I do it out of my heart. Like I do it with the right intentions. And you know how your God is telling you to do something. Like for example, let's say you want to call someone out. You know, is the right thing? Is the right thing? Sometimes you don't run the story, and sometimes you do. And so I've confronted people, like big business people, and I always keep thinking about like to make like let's say you have CEO of $5 billion company that you disliked before, or you call out, or whatever, you have confrontation. And you kind of think like, could I do it differently? So you always kind of go back and like, should I try to remake it with that person? Because it's not like you think that you were wrong. Everything you did it say is right, but could you be more politically correct? And
or more empathetic, right? Like and understand like where they were coming from.
Exactly.
Try to repair the relationship, restore trust, right? Because at the end of the day, sometimes you have to be the bigger person. Do you agree with that?
100%.
This is one of Gary Vee's characters right here. Be the bigger person.
Exactly. And I've burned some bridges. I would like to restore them.
Maybe they'll call you. Maybe you can call them. Maybe we can start it today. Who is it?
One of them would be Greg Bloom, the Bloom family.
Yeah, Greg and Joe.
Yeah, I don't think I ever like publicly have a conflict. We have conversations. We have one interview where we're gonna do a couple of years ago, and it got canceled, and I got very pissed about it. So
does that happen a lot, by the way? Like you like
cancellation?
Want you to do interviews and then like people canceling because there gets I don't know for whatever reason.
That's the only one that I can recall that actually got canceled after I purchased tickets and flights and stuff, and it was like. To me, it was not professional how it was all dealt, and I got very pissed about that. Like, so Greg Bloom probably would be one of the top on my list. He's
an amazing guy.
I know, and that's what I hear.
Amazing guy.
I know, and that's why I'm so sad about it because, and again, it wasn't public. It was personal.
Okay.
It was in private messages, but I've said stuff I shouldn't say. I'm pretty sure I apologized before, but. Relationships like that are hard, and it's not like I think that I've done anything like big time wrong or but little things like that.
Fast with your tongue though, in the middle. Because I mean, you got a lot of things moving and shaking. Exactly. Yeah, we all have those things. Well, that's good. Anybody else?
I mean, I'm on the point of my life where I don't hold grudges to anyone. Like Delmedico, Lee Haight, all of those guys. If they call me, like I always answer. If they wanna talk to me, come to my office. Like I don't, even if I block you and you still want to talk to me, I'll talk to you.
When you guys get done with this fight, are you guys going to hug and like, put the things up, put your hands up in the air?
Lee Haight is a little bit different because of I think it's both ways. I think he has a lot of hate towards me. I mean, I see what he says and stuff. So I think it'll be harder for him.
You think it's just for the views though and the attention? Like I think some of us think that what's going to happen is you guys are going to hug it out and like everything's it was like, oh man, the marketers duped us.
No, I think Lee Haight destroyed his brand with already. Like, I mean, think about it. Like when he came to me in Flinch, right? And then he edits the video, published in his own community. Like you lose respect when you do some of this thing.
Yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to be okay no matter what. Just like you're going to be okay no matter what. He's going
to keep pushing, but I'm saying like it's very hard on the ego. That's why he has actually blocked me. Like think about that.
Well, you guys are like 40-year-old kids, Anyway, if you had to leave the roofing industry tomorrow.
And not to mention he's trying to sue me right now. So that's another thing. So I don't know how the person was trying to
stand in line, man. Stand in line. If you had to leave the roofing industry tomorrow, what would you do?
Directory.
And then what? Just go pursue other industries?
No, directory. That's
but like if you
promised my wife, this is my last business. I don't do anything else. Directory is my last business. I'm gonna give it 10 years. I want to retire when I'm 50. I still probably gonna be on the board, advisory, whatever. But I'm gonna give my best 10 years to directory.com. And at the end, I'll see what exit looks like. Am I a co-partner? If I'm small shareholder like Jeff Bezos owns like 16% of Amazon, something like that. But director is my baby, it's my biggest idea, it's my biggest business, and this is what I'm going to do.
Advice to your younger self. If you could travel back in time, what advice would you give to a younger Dmitry?
Go on your own sooner, like start your own business sooner. It's hard. I would just start a business sooner.
Okay. How do you want to be remembered, and what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
I want my kids to remember me as someone who always worked hard and was there for them. Just, I guess, in this day and time, I want to be the hardest worker. Like, in a sense, like people almost declare the war on hard work. You know, the whole mentality is like 5-hour work week. Like, I don't believe in any of that. I feel like our
4-hour work week.
4-hour work. Like
Tim Ferriss.
Yeah. But if you read it, it's not actually about that. It's people misquote it. But for me, is I love hard work. I love grind, and I guess that.
What's one thing you still want to learn or achieve in life?
Spanish. I want to know 3 languages. Trying to find a tutor right now. I want to be fluent Spanish speaker.
That would have been a lot more helpful when you had your roofing company.
Yeah. I mean, I understand some dialects, some words and stuff, but I'm not fluent.
All right. Which book do you read books?
A lot.
I mean, I said you read the Arnold Schwarzenegger Total Recall.
Yeah.
What's
awesome.
a couple other books that you recommend to people?
I mean, I have all the books I think you have.
Yeah, but I
here.
don't. But what? Yeah, but like, what's one or two of your top ones that really made an impact in your life?
I'm reading right now. It's for the second or third time. Marcus Aurelius. Like, I love history books. I love biographies. That's top of my list all the time. A lot of psychology too.
All right. Who are some people in your life that you like to acknowledge and thank for their role in your journey?
Rodney Webb. Rodney Webb was probably the biggest pivot that I've made. That person is like, he's the smartest business owner that I know. I mean, I've met a lot of good guys like Gary Vee included and all of them, but Rodney Webb just above them all. The way he pours his heart, like in the presence of Rodney Webb, no matter, and I've talked to people who hired him for like 15, 20 years, like Andy Linus. It doesn't matter how much you know him. Every time he comes to you, every time he talks, like he is always above. Like you always feel like you're dumb and he's smart. Like I never experienced with anyone else. Business smart. Like the way he talks about business and business advice he gives you, it's always top notch. It's like, don't do this, do this. And you can't argue with that guy.
Is there anything that we didn't cover today that you'd like to share?
Not really. I think we covered plenty.
All right. And for everyone listening or watching this, what's the one message or the piece of advice you'd like them to take away from our conversation today?
Just be you. Do not try to fake it. Do not try to please anyone. When you try to, like, I watch a lot of YouTubers and hear their journeys, and usually people who really make it like big, it's when you understand who you are. You can't fake it on the social media. You can't. People think you can. You can't. You only, if you understand who you are, and if you show people who you are, you're gonna attract people who understand you and who wants to be with you for who you are. And if you try to fake it in any way, shape, or form, you're gonna lose more friends later. You're gonna attract people at first. So let's say you're poor and you wanna act rich. So yeah, you're gonna attract people, but then when they find out that you're actually poor, you're gonna leave them. They're gonna leave you. So be you, be yourself, and understand your weaknesses, work on them. Like I feel like so many people with the social media, with the Instagram especially, they only want to show off their strength. Talk about your weaknesses. Like you're only as strong as your biggest weakness. I work on my weaknesses 24/7. When I go to the gym, when I work out, I don't work like, if I'm good at muscle ups, I'm going to do like snatches my weakness. I do snatches freaking every day or whatever the case is. So in business, if you're a bad leader, if you have weakness in business, like let's say you don't like accounting, you can't say, like I hear a roofer say all the time, oh, I'm bad at marketing or I'm bad at accounting. Well, then you suck. If you're bad at something, that's the only thing you have to work on. Nobody's going to do it for you. You're only as big. Okay, so you're good at business, but you're bad at accounting. What do you think going to happen? You're going to freaking fail. Or you're bad at marketing. So what do you think going to happen? You're going to lose a lot of money. So drop everything else, what you're good at, and go figure your weakness back. And that's my biggest advice to everyone. Like, work on your weaknesses more than you work on your strength.
Who should I work on getting on this podcast for next year? Anybody you recommend?
Anthony Delmedico. Try to get. I want to hear his story, like, genuinely. I've heard that he affected a lot of lives in the roofing industry. He was like trailblazer, first person with a conference. He got a lot of people together, like even people who did not like his conference, they still made a lot of connections and stuff like that. So I would like to hear his story from him. If he's transformed man, because he've hurt a lot of people. He's also very controversial, and I would like to hear that story. Like, did he change? How did he change? What happened? I would like him to be in his seat, and I would talk to him as well. Like, there's no hate.
Who else? Anybody else? Doesn't even have to be in roofing either.
Gary Vee, did you do?
Yeah, I was already in New York City. Yeah, he was a few episodes ago, and
I'm gonna watch that.
So that was cool. It was
Alex Hermosi.
No, he's good. I have to get my boy Adam Sand. That's Adam Sand's dude. He loves that guy.
Oh yeah, well do.
Yeah, no, he's cool, man. He puts out a lot of good stuff. What do you think about me, man? Where do you think my future is?
It's hard to tell. Like, you're a hard person to read. I see that you pivoting. I see that you're changing, even from the last time I've seen you. I don't think you're lost, but I feel like you're transitioning to something that you don't even know. Like, I see that you're a good friend with Gary Vee. You like podcasts. Like, I don't think you know what you want to do in life, what your true passion is. You call yourself visionary a lot, but do you have a vision for your life like you have for your company? That's the question that you need to answer to yourself, because you need to figure out what you want to do and just go all at it. If it's not construction company, if it's content, go all in. You've been playing the game for a little bit now. You can figure it out. But advice you gave me earlier, you have to be focused and you have to go all in. And I feel like you are torn between content and podcast and actual construction. And I feel like you have to make a decision too. What do you want to do most of?
What if I told you that I can understand where you're coming from, especially maybe not knowing me as well, but what if I told you that the construction company and the podcast were both just platforms for me to make an impact and help people through difficult times, inspire them to live a life of authenticity, vulnerability, lead with love, and that I actually enjoy the connection and the building of lives through the construction company, which, we can do that because we can actually affect people one-to-one, right? In person, right? And then also then through content and like a podcast, like for me, like this is just like this is a passion project of mine. This is just, but the construction company
is it a hobby?
But it's not I wouldn't say it's a hobby, because I think, I don't know, Cody and Ali setting this up and all this equipment and trying to do it professional, because, guys like you and Gary Vee and have inspired me to, like, if you're going to do it, try to make it a little bit more professional so that way people can enjoy it a little bit. But I would say that it's just another channel. It's another channel to kind of get my message out a little bit more scale. Because I think I was on your podcast. I talked a lot about, some of my life stories. There's been a lot of things that I've been through that I've overcome, that I think that I want to make sure that people can know that anything's possible. Similar to your story of coming out of Siberia, with my backstory, your back, like we are people, I believe, that have stories. And I think everybody has a story, no matter how 100%. Crazy it is or how, everyone has a unique story. And I think everyone needs to share it and everyone needs to shout it from the rooftops and own it. Right. And I think that's part of where the healing comes in, from the past. And I also think that, you can be more present, right? And for a long time, I was never present because I was still dealing with, past and then always anxious about the future. But now through a lot of healing and a lot of, learning from others and meditation, getting closer to God over the last few years, it's really I don't know. I'm starting to find my sweet spot. And, whether it's I own a roofing company or whether I sit on the board of my roofing company or whether I get to travel around the country and speak to other entrepreneurs or other people to help just inspire them. Because I feel like God's got a purpose for my life. God's got a purpose for your life. God's got a purpose for everyone's life. It's like you have to kind of figure out through him, like what that is, and then kind of just go forward. So I am doing that. But it's not necessarily it's not the podcast, the roofing company, whether I'm speaking at a conference, whether I'm, at an event, like that's just kind of what I do. That's not why I do it. So I appreciate you saying that, because I do like to, get focused on that. But at the end of the day, I don't want to just be a podcaster.
I hear you.
I like to tell the stories, but I like to work too. So I feel like it is work. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to, it's just a distribution channel to get the message out. And
I'll answer the same thing about what you told me earlier about underlayment. I also don't want to be like, people look at me as just a YouTuber or a podcaster. Like YouTube, I can make 5-6 pieces of content in one day. One of the reasons I even got it, because a couple of years ago, I have a Russian partner who lives in China on the back end. So he's an engineer.
A Russian partner who lives in China. Did you hear that?
12 years there. And so he reached out to me. He said, Dmitry, you have like 7 middlemen when it goes from here to here. We can do it direct. So that's why I said yes. I went there. And one of the reasons is for the past couple of years, I was looking for the product to put my name on, because I don't want to be like, I'm a businessman. YouTube is a business kind of, it's channel. It's a fun project. It's a little bit hobby, but it's a full-time business, right? And I also like the same reason what you just said about your roofing. Like I want to make, like, I don't want to just make a video about, there is you can buy it cheaper. I also, like, if I can create a product, create a solution, and put my name in it, and it doesn't take away from anything else I do, might as well. So for me, I'm not just a YouTuber. Like, I'm a businessman.
I know that. That's why you're here. That's why we're able to have this conversation.
Exactly.
I really do. No matter what all the noise is out there, I respect everyone. I think that everyone has, a unique story. Even like Lee Haight, like I'm excited to talk to Lee. I met him one time at a conference. I don't really know the man. I barely know you, right? Like I only know you from YouTube, right?
Sure.
Like except for the one time that we hung out. And so I think it's my mission in life to be able to help understand and connect, and then try to help the audience at home see a different side, right? And that's kind of my mission. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I know I'm supposed to do this like a good YouTuber and a good podcaster. If you got value out of this thing, like, comment, subscribe, put all your questions in there for Dmitry. I will nudge him and make him answer every single question, except for all the nasty ones. And then we'll have to block you. No, I'm just kidding. We don't block anybody at the Big Fish. And nothing's edited either. So
this is by far the best interview that I experienced. And I've done like maybe 5-10 of them, but this is the best.
You've only done 5 or 10 interviews.
I don't do a lot.
Wow.
For the first 3 years, I denied all the requests. I didn't think that was worthy enough or smart enough. Like I started accepting requests like 2 years ago, and I only have done like 5 maybe.
All right. Other than
thank
me,
you for this.
All right. Yeah. Other than me, who's your favorite so far? I know, but other than me, because I'm going to go watch it.
Jesse. So he's in Dallas. I forgot the channel. I'll send it to you.
That's all right. Cool. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks.